Good morning and welcome to the third installment of MIB Weekly. It is week 3 of June and time is flying by. It is already almost time for my twins to come, and it's almost time for the end of the month. So there's a lot going on. We have a lot to celebrate, and I like to start off by celebrating our views. We had 40, the big 40 views this last week. That is up from our 36 of last week or the week before. And now adding to that, we have 7, however it's supposed to look, we have 7 likes. So that is a huge improvement from 2. That means 7 of you guys thought that you liked the video enough that you take the extra effort to hit that like button. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Well, we have a lot to get into, as I always say, and I always mean. So let's start off by talking about those survey results. So as far as participation goes, we have a lot to celebrate for. For starters, we had 31 people take the survey, and that is amazing. That's almost triple the amount we normally get. Thank you guys for your effort. And just to add to that, it took an average of 2 minutes and 36 seconds to take the survey. So I'm glad that it's not taking that much of your time to go out and take a survey to give us valuable information. Thank you. Now we're talking about the name. You know, this has really been an ongoing thing. We're looking at what the name should be, and each week it seems to have a trend to increase the MIB. Well, so far it looks like 52% of those of you who took the survey out of the 31 wants the name to be MIB. Now this is good news to me, but we also have to acknowledge everyone else. We had 6% who thought it should be other, and we also had 42% who thought it should remain MPI. So I appreciate everybody's feedback, and there is a milestone here. That is 50%. That's over 50%. 53% of you guys took the survey, and I said that if we got to 50%, I'd stop. And I'm not sure if I should stop, but that was what I said, so I will probably keep this question on to the next one. But according to the survey and according to you guys, we should change our name from MPI to MIB. Same meaning, Multi-Program Intake Bureau. Good job, guys. Now on to the next segment, or section of the survey. 87% of you said you'd like to hear more information or fun facts about me, so I'll give you another one. This month is a very special month for me because in 2010 is when I started my career in the public sector. And a fun fact, I actually started off as an office assistant. An office assistant in the public assistant building like the one we're working in now, but in Riverside County. So that is how I started my career in the public sector. Then I became a child support officer, and I did that for about, I think, a year, close to a year. Then I became an eligibility worker, and that's starting off as 1. Then I went to an eligibility worker 2. Then I went to a small role as a 3 before I promoted to the eligibility worker supervisor. From there, I've also done employment services. And so as you can probably tell, I have experience in every step of the way. So I've worked my way up from the office assistant level all the way up to who I am now, your MPI manager, or is that MIB? And following the theme of last week's video, we will answer topic questions in the Did You Know section. So let's start on that. All right, so for leadership, well, let me backtrack. Because we had an enormous amount of participation, which I am grateful for, I decided to, instead of answer each topic or theme and talk about each theme separately, I decided to break them down in groups because they did have categories that they all kind of fell in. So let's get that a start. Now we're back to where I started. There are some of you who want to know more about not just me, but other members of the leadership team. Now, I agree with you on this, but I will say one thing. I can't force them to be a part of the videos, so let's all encourage them. And hopefully enough encouragement will lead to them having some type of segment or guest appearance on the weekly videos. I think that'd be great. All right, guys, for the next section of the survey, a lot of questions were had about the lobby changes. Now, I am going to be transparent with you every step of the way, and there has not been any updates since the last time we spoke about this. So with that being said, I'm going to ask that you watch Marla's video. I know it may be difficult for a lot of you to find the video, so in this email today, or in this week, we're going to include a link to that video so you can watch. She put a lot of details in there, and as of where we stand now, those details are what we'd like, and we haven't gotten any updates since then. So that's the best I could do, and I know it's probably not sitting well with you, but I'm just as in the dark as you are if you watch Marla's video. If you haven't, I probably have a little bit more information than you. If you have, we're in the same situation. Sorry, that's the best I could do, guys. All right, so the next category that a lot of things fell in was the direction of intake. And that could be the direction of MIB, or currently known as MPI. So what is the direction? Well, as many of you know, I started shadowing last week. And specific, I shadowed the Fairfield office so far. And in the Fairfield office, I started to notate some of the things that I thought I knew was actually not reality, right? And some of the things I was unaware of were brought to my attention. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone who allowed me to shadow them. Araceli, that is also Kim, and Josie. I remember. Thank you guys for allowing me to shadow you, because I took some really good notes, got a better understanding, and I'll be bringing my findings to the leadership team, and we're going to start our conversation about processes and about what can be improved to give us work-life balance, right? So that's what we're going to do. We'll begin conversations, begin talks, but we can't finish the talks until I shadow everyone else. So I have a couple of more offices to go through. That is Vacaville and Vallejo. And if you guys haven't received a notice from me and you'd like for me to shadow you, please reach out to your supervisor or Margie. So the next theme that seemed to be reoccurring in the survey results was wanting to have updates about programs. So program updates. Well, I have a couple of things to say about this. One, earlier this month, the program support specialist had a Microsoft Teams meeting with the supervisors. And I know a lot of good ideas came from that. So I want to hold off on making any changes or making any changes to this platform, because I think that is going to evolve into something that meets the needs of basically everyone who's been asking for updates. Quick, short updates, and I think that's exactly where it's going. And the other thing I'd like to say is that, mentioning again, we're going to have a weekly, not weekly, we're doing weekly videos. We're going to have a monthly newsletter. It's going to be e-newsletter, and it's going to be a very simple read, and I'll have the information you're looking for as far as program changes. Now, I do understand that monthly may not be as frequent enough to get these changes, so let's give the program support specialist and our supervisor some time to come up with a plan, and then I'll review the plan to see if, and maybe in a survey to see if it's really meeting your needs, and if it's not, we'll do something here. That was a mouthful, but thank you. And the next piece is something that I really would love to mention and give a quick shout out. Someone identified the fact that I left out a word in the question. Thank you. There's a couple things I want to mention about this thank you. One is, I don't know how you spotted that, because my brain automatically plugged that word in. Also, this is a great time for me to say, guys, it's evident I am not perfect. So I will be the first to let you know, or the first to agree when I make a mistake. So that's a good thing. So continue to find those mistakes, and I'll continue to improve them. So next week, you shouldn't find a missing word, I hope. And lastly, another theme that has been running pretty consistent in the feedback and of themes that you guys would like to see was health and wellness. And just like last week, we got you covered. We have another video that we hope will be just as entertaining and informative to you. So later on, you'll see the video, and I hope it puts a smile on your face and puts information in your brain. And now we're going to jump into a subject that you guys know is near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite subjects, the pending apps. And we have a lot to celebrate. So let's jump right in there. We have, for Expedited CalFresh, we have 11. And out of that 11, we have one that is overdue pending. Guys, give yourself a pat on the back, and let's give you an applaud for that. Good job. You're doing amazing, and you're hitting these milestones at a faster rate than I'm expecting. I am very impressed. Let's talk about the CalFresh. For CalFresh, we have 378. And out of that 378, we only have 4 that are overdue. I can't say that again. Guys, you are doing amazing. I don't know how you're doing it, but I really appreciate the hard work you're doing and how you're plowing through this and making sure that everyone gets the service that they deserve. And let's talk about the next one, Medi-Cal. Now this is a bittersweet one, right? So sweet because we have 1,043 that are pending, which means we plowed through about 100. Bitter because we have 209 that are overdue. We have the plan, we're going to execute the plan, and I expect to see that number go down very soon. So continue to focus, continue to work in the direction you are, because by default, we're going to make sure that we have 0 overdue pendings very soon. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. Now, you want answers, and I have some. The first thing you want answers on is teleworking and minimal essential coverage. Well, I can't tell you much about teleworking because we don't have anything back as of now. But what I can tell you is that essential coverage and minimal essential coverage is going to depend on the client's needs and our ability to meet those needs with our new direction or the new way of servicing clients. And we don't know what that way is, but I can tell you that we'll have to reassess once we do find out. And yes, it can change. So be prepared for that. And as soon as I know, you'll know right here on MIB Weekly. So there was a question / scenario that wanted to be brought to the attention. And it was, to summarize, it was basically about finding a method to make sure that we know where people are at all times doing work. I will say that I acknowledge that this is an issue that a lot of people face. And most of the time you face this in the realm of eligibility. It's a common problem. What I will say to that is that we're going to take this information because, as I stated before, we are looking to improve processes. So this is another good thing that we can use and talk about when we talk about improving processes. What can we do that will make sure we are identifying where people are so that we don't waste time and spin our wheels looking for people who may not be in the office or who may be training or who may be working from home. So this is a good suggestion, and we'll make sure that we bring it to our leadership meetings to discuss, and hopefully we can come up with something. If not, it'll be on a survey or we'll be asking for committees. So whoever posted that question and others who have the same questions and the same issues and concerns, keep your ear out. We might be asking for your help. And to summarize the next subject, someone basically wanted to thank me for the 2020 video. Well, at least give us feedback that it was helpful and useful. And they wanted to request that we give more of those type of videos and also trivia. So I'll make sure that thank you for the feedback. I'll make sure that I give that to my daughter, and we have incorporated a lot of that into this week's video. So I hope you like it. And now it's probably time for one of your favorite portions of this video, which is practicing good health. Begin in a seated position with arms at sides. Maintain good posture with back straight and feet on the floor. Slowly raise shoulders straight up towards ears. Pause at the top for allotted time based on fitness level. Return to starting position. As a tip, take several deep breaths to relieve stress and promote relaxation. By stopping throughout your day and doing these small activities, you too can promote good health. Thank you.
By taking time to do these things, you can practice good health habits.
And that is it for this week's video. I hope you got a lot of information because I gave a lot. And if there's a couple of things I'd like you to take away, it'd be 1, pat yourself on the back, applaud yourselves, give each other high fives for remembering COVID, give each other air high fives for the great job that you've been doing this year. And in particularly, you're crushing it this month. Thank you guys. The other thing I hope is that the practicing good health section is put to use. We really need to make sure we focus on ourselves as we continue to plow through these cases and plow through COVID. Our health matters, your health matters, and I want to make sure that you're doing great. So thank you once again. Have a great week. See you in the MIB.